Hello adventurers, this is your editor Andrew Berta. We had a lot of technical difficulties with this episode. So because of that, you're going to notice a difference in the overlay as well as some of the quality of some of the things we like to do. We're still figuring out a lot of the stuff. It should be fixed for next week. Cannot guarantee anything as of right now. We will also experience a bit of a microphone glitch issue happen in the first part of this episode. So bear with us as we work through the technical difficulties. And remember, this is a good day to die.
Welcome back, adventurers.
This is not Eli.
I am the game master.
Sound quality issue.
Yes. So, as we said before, we're experiencing a few technical difficulties. Our audio was possessed by evil gremlins in the system. What I had previously described was they had made it to the pirates' hideout. In the pirates' hideout, it has an open cave mouth that looks out into the bay. This cavern is probably 50 feet up and has 3 different levels in it. Steps carved into the stone, different caverns with people doing different things in there. The group of pirates had rushed down to meet our adventurers, and they are being accosted by a tremendously powerful looking female gnoll, who Muriel said, no.
It's not cool.
Not a kobold.
Yeah, Damon rolled to know knowledge about kobolds and got him nothing closer to knowing anything about the gnolls. We made the joke. You can't do that. It was at your expense. Anyway.
Yes, and
Screw you.
no.
Screw you. But looking out of the
I think you have to finish their interaction with
she's flirting. Looking out in a really impressive, mighty kind of way.
Whoa. What's this reading?
I'm not going to marry.
This is kind of stabbed so fast.
Looking out of the mouth of the cave, they also found cannons and gunpowder. And by they, I mean right now. Looking out of the open mouth of the cave, you all realize that it is twilight. You had spent the better part of this day crawling through graves, tunnels, and sewer systems. Excuse me. Yes, some of you had been bitten more than others.
Quite a bit more.
She turns and she says, they are exhausted. Quite literally, she says. If you'll escort them to their new living arrangements, she says, I will be with them shortly. The gnoll turns to face all of you as she takes her axe and she points. You see a kind of like a cage set off to the side. This cage looks like it would be in the brig of a ship somewhere, but has been deconstructed and reconstructed in this cave here. She points towards the cage. You see there is little more in there than rags, a bowl to use for something, and a pile of straw.
I imagine we won't be allowed to leave.
The gnoll looks at you and he says, eventually, one way.
She means dead or alive. Thanks. Oh, you're welcome.
I speak barbarian.
I turn and immediately go to the cage. And he collapse onto the filthy straw. I just kind of sit down and have a think.
And it's like,
Is that Blue's defense alert?
yes.
to heal them of any. If I'm in the cage.
She looks at you for a moment, right? She says, yes, please. She does not.
And from the cage you hear, yes, please.
So first thing I'm gonna do, lesser respiration. You have been registered in the lesser country. I hope you speak Kuwait. Kuwaitese. So it
I was
goes
gonna say Farsi, but I don't know.
Marcy's like it's the Iranian language, or as such like
All of this
is
yeah.
you go from exhaustion to fatigue.
Bam.
And then
Do that thing.
Hang on, so does that give you back some strengths?
Yeah, there's someone that it wasn't like ability damage.
Right, but it did.
I'm at 5 now. What's 5 give me?
everyone gets healed for 9.
5.
We get healed 9s? I'm.
How bad are you still looking?
Listen.
I'm a little over half.
A little over half.
Good.
I'm good.
How's Rihanna doing?
Harry's good. Still got him in my arms, so he's no.
I need to know how.
Because I don't know how to do the scope.
You have the strength.
Alright.
No. Something
Are you a
between
little over half?
a monstrous centipede. It's
Like, if you had to put a number to the
Like,
knock off balance.
So
So I can stand. Yeah, you can walk.
So you stand. Yay!
like a baby giraffe.
I get
born
on my
bigger.
shoulder. You're not gonna be able to walk very well.
The tiefling steps into the open cage with all of you. She says, by the way, my name is Muriel. I'm here to help you as best I can. She says, but to do so, I need to know more about you. She says, you clearly have a healer or any of the rest of you spellcasters.
I say no.
She like tilts her head. You hear, he said yes to thieves camp. You see a black folk leaning up on one of the higher ridges looking down at you. He has a bright purple bandana wrapped over his head with holes cut out for the ears. He has clothing that very much looks like it's meant to be able to move in. It's not loose, it doesn't hang free, like it would never snag on something. As he's looking down at you and spinning the dagger,
After tonight.
oh my god! You all just what'd you do? He's spinning a dagger over his hand, just kind of like whirling around deftly. He kind of looks down at you and he says, why does a spellcaster know thieves camp?
Hey, just curious soul.
Huh. She says, well, we have something for you too. As the gnoll steps back into the room, she produces a pair of manacles that completely cover from your hand down to your elbows.
That's almost come out like I expect this to happen.
About why is
You need smaller ones.
Welcome to the. Are you though?
I am just a girl.
They
I knew an escape artist while we were not. Or
You can say no.
a sleight of hand.
I'm trying to think because there is a okay. I will let you do it at the DC of these manacles because with them on, the DC gets exponentially more difficult. So yes,
Which
and be escape.
That's escape.
Mhm.
That's close.
8.
Doesn't count. Not in the tray.
What is it?
A 19.
Right in this tray.
26.
No.
They're like pretty.
Even at 19, still no. They're higher than 35.
I assume that's first for just outside of your skill level. Wait till you get to 50.
Does anybody have a praise?
Yes, you're doing.
You're doing
great.
Great.
It's just me.
It was pretty cool.
Never mind.
I thought I did, but I don't.
9.
That's no in German.
With a 14, you can't tell how nice these are. They seem way too nice for these kind of people. And like, what do you mean? Once you look around, it seems like most everything in here is super nice. Even from like these makeshift buildings that people are resting in, if you were to look in there, even the creature comforts that they have in there are like silken linens, tapestries, drapes, things like that. Expensive paintings.
It's like somebody's got the inside works.
As you all begin to kind of bed down, she says, I promise this is for your own good. Apologies. How this all turned out. But I would like you to
I do have to ask, are we actually going to get out of here alive?
that remains to be seen. But so far you're doing great. She said that she shuts the door.
How wide is
Actually, with an escape artist, you can
Do it. Do it, you little grimy man, you.
We're probably been much. Say him in this.
Oh yeah. He said yes a lot. That's yes. That's no.
I heard.
I forgot he was here and
I can do that. I pull it back and standing on top of it. You want me to throw you?
It's not what I was getting at, but
First.
Is your master here, bud? Oh no! He's got a knife!
he's riding a moose and he has a gun.
Is your jawbone nearby?
Do you know where we're at? That's yes. He said yes.
Ragnar, you're doing so good.
Yeah, you can't clap, buddy.
Slap him back the skull.
I go ahead and pull the skull out of his bag. Since I can tell the.
I just set it on top of it.
So what'd you do with it?
I just set him down.
I pick him up, staring right at me. Are you trying to point with your eyes? Say when you're close.
So as you begin to like scan the room with him, you point at the tiefling as she's walking away.
You want us?
Talk about that way.
Do you want us to get her attention?
That's
Esmeralda.
She stops.
We have a gift for you.
She walks over. She like leans in and looks. She says,
I pull that. No, hang on.
"Where did you get that?"
It depends.
Into sewers.
You are terrible at this game. We found this thing. He was towards you. How? Do you know what this is?
Do you know who that is?
Who?
Yes. His name is Burn.
You ain't got a jaw. That's a good bird. Sorry.
He like looks at her like, "Please help me."
Please believe his jawbone to be on the skeleton and one of the headless ones walking around. There's a jabber jaw.
Oh. She says,
What did you send them?
"What makes you think I did?"
Well, while we're sitting in here, we couldn't be stopping.
She says, "No, you could."
Well,
But that's cute. You think they give that?
can we stay alive?
Yes.
That wasn't fun.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
If we make it out alive, I will give it.
She says, if you don't make it out alive, you'll get it.
Yeah, no, that's the point. But at that point, at least I have a chance to destroy it.
She says, you think you can destroy that?
No, but I'll try. He doesn't seem to like that idea.
I really don't.
Damn it, intensified.
I casually, well, not casually, but I intentionally reach over and grab the skull out of your grasp. Yeah.
I held on to it, so I'm like, you're not gonna give it to her, are you?
Please don't.
Are you giving to her? Yes or no?
I am finessing the situation.
I pull it out and say, that sounds like a yes to me.
Would you please give her?
Yeah, that's his name. I giggle.
I look at Burn. Is that your name?
It's funny.
It's simple. Leave me alone.
Please, I'm begging.
Does she have a spell book?
You want to give her your
No.
sword?
It's my
Let-
sword.
let's think.
I don't know this is hers. She could make it up. Probably no.
Neat connection.
Right? Yeah, he totally was not guiding you.
So I like with the
He
goblins,
doesn't
I'm
say
like
anything. He just
doing the math
go
in my head.
Esmeralda.
How many of necromancer with no spell book?
What did you think of the necromancer?
She's just
Talking skull. Jabberjaw.
Mm-hmm.
No, necro.
You said it was mine. I just said I know who he is.
See, I told you it's not hers.
Then he lied when she's the skulls.
Who is Burn?
He didn't lie. He just said, hey, get her attention.
Well, no, he didn't. He went
Yeah.
towards her a lot.
So I'm addressing her. Like, so who is Burn?
He is burned.
Right, but I mean, is he a part of this group?
Well, at the moment we have him, so
Yeah,
I will say
she said it's questioningly.
So who is Burn?
duh.
Anything you'd like to elucidate about his?
Yes. Burn the annoying. What do you want to know?
Why is he so insistent?
Mm-hmm.
Why is
You're
Burn
brilliant.
so insistent on going with you?
Great question. Let's explore that avenue.
If you can let him talk, and he says he belongs to you, I will give him to you.
I will advocate for you if you don't kill him.
Oh, I have no reason. If you
damn.
advocate,
If you'll avocado for us.
We have hit the extent of the drug.
I would say that's
if
very
you will
impressive.
help us not die.
It's very impressive you use a multisyllabic word.
Most. I saw that about.
She says, I'm done here. She walks away.
I tried, sorry.
I cut that one. I know you did.
We're gonna die.
You're like, oh, good luck, guys.
I wouldn't leave because I don't think.
Oh, here you go.
They're all having a meeting, and he just shows up dressed like a pirate, and he's like, yarr.
It's Rayado. Is he big enough or small enough to fit through the doors?
Am I big enough not to fit through the bars?
You just like pop up over his shoulder.
I should shout last time.
So the evening wanes on, and it feels uncomfortable. There are a lot of conversations happening about all in this area. Some of them are taking bets on what's going to happen, where you're going to end up, and who gets what off of you. Because you still have your equipment on, and some of it's nice and expensive, and they want it. However, you are all recovering from exhaustion, and so the only way to get rid of that is rest. But you can do whatever you want. What would y'all like to do in your new little little habitat
Oh, I'm a nap.
for humanity.
Nappy naps. Yeah.
I want to try to weigh in on hearing the closest conversation that I can. I need to roll.
Yes. Okay. Is it above a 5?
Yes.
You hear a pair of voices begin to talk. They are very shrill, but they're coming from a ledge just above you, and you hear them kind of bickering back and forward, and one of them you recognize. What did you roll?
I rolled a 2, but I have bonuses, so 9.
9? You recognize it, but you can't place it, really.
Did I try to like really hone in? Like it's a itch at the
You can
back?
hear what they're saying, but knowing what they're saying, you don't.
That-
You know what they're saying, you don't know who's saying it, though.
Oh.
But you hear the conversation going back and forth.
No, it doesn't work like that. If their stuff goes to pirates, it doesn't go to you. But it could go to me. I'm one of the pirates. Yes, I know.
as it begins to go such.
Goblin double?
Do I know y'all?
Maybe.
Knew it.
No.
These are the two we caught up. I can't see it.
Rim is the cold.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these
I
are
was
the
just
goblin. Was it the goblin? Was it goblin? No, they weren't goblins. They were kobolds, weren't they?
Who?
That we tied up.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's them. That's my guess. But I don't know.
Do you know who it is?
But outside of that, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Goblins.
Cool. What an impression
Well,
he's
I
made.
know.
Not the
It's the freaking merchant guy. Holy crap.
I thought
I knew who we were talking to.
I wasn't expecting.
I was like, the only other goblin we dealt with was that one.
What are the odds?
You see Trig lean over the edge and they're down
Oh,
on
you
you.
trade? How's it going? Oh, it's not over.
He begins to like crawl down the side.
Oh,
He's too fat to really like grab onto the side. And so he hits the bars and he like in between the bars.
yeah, so.
So he's inside with us?
Yeah.
That was yeah. I'm like, what
He looked at you.
the? Really?
You know what? She's warm. I don't walk through those. Good for you.
You see another goblin lean over the side. This goblin is completely missing one of his ears, and there's scars along that side of his face. He has goggles, and along those goggles are magnification lenses, so he can like flip them over if he'd like to. He looks over, and you see he's missing at least one finger on each hand, and he is wearing a leather apron that runs down the front of his chest, and a small cap on his head as he like leans over and looks down at all of you.
Oh, that's a man that likes explosives.
Trade. Do you know anyone who makes bombs?
He says,
Yeah, cousin make bombs.
Who's your cousin?
"Where's Ben?" He points up. Alder's fine.
Oh, you watched the formulas and the siege bombs you made. You told me not to live in stairs. You see my bombs? Yeah, the siege bombs. You see my bombs? I love the siege bombs. I've heard of conversation. Yeah, you like my bombs. No one liked your bombs. You like my bombs. I love your son.
They begin to argue.
Hey, guys,
You like my bombs.
guys. I think he was trying to talk.
Didn't work.
Conversation. I interrupted our conversation. I'm so sorry.
Oh, I thought.
Can you break, please? Yes.
No.
Question: why are y'all here? I thought you were going to Drimport.
I'm a jerk.
Okay, I thought you were going to Drimport for
I
the circus.
Well, I'm not gonna check that. What island are we on?
or not. Remember.
I go out the back gate.
Mm-hmm.
What do we not need?
Wow. Ursa. I'm good at this. That's me know.
What island are we under?
Oh.
Knowledge.
It's knowledge.
How long have you been here, Greg?
What time is it? The other one pulls up a wristwatch and you see there's a sundial on it. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 4 hours.
Sure, I'll take that at face value.
So, you came to Drimport
Yeah.
to do a circus thing
Yeah.
for these people?
No.
Oh, I didn't think so. So how come you're...
Lots of
That's, well...
Trade health information, parasite information. No checks upstairs, no luck goblins. No check goblins. Think dumb. Not so dumb. I'm smarter than they think. You see the other goblin like look at Trig and he looks at you guys like he knowingly is like, yeah, I know.
So,
Any amount of insight for me. Isaac wants to say something, but just doesn't.
so you're not a part of these pirates,
No.
but you have safe passageway with them?
Yes.
So they haven't done anything to you? Took your stuff?
Not without my consent.
That's
I'm
fair.
going back to sleep.
This is going no.
Rick, can we get you to free us? Can you buy us and then we can buy ourselves back from you?
He looks at the other goblin.
See, we're not for sale.
I don't necessarily think we're.
Can you find us a code or a code?
Yes, he says. The other goblin watches him walk off. He turns and looks back at the rest of you, right? He says, "Thank you for compliment." Expresses from the devil. He says, "Thank you for being good to my cousin." But I said, "Later." Do what?
I say this is the trigger point here or down the hall because it has to be.
It's fascinating. He starts like to go on about it. He says, "The when I first know, he says I couldn't have done it like that because there's a lot of magical components." You hear whiz bang. He like stops and he turns and kind of like a start.
I'm using big problems to like make.
You see the cat folk call down to him, and the cat folk has been watching all of you this entire time. He says, "Leave them alone."
Listen to cat.
Da, 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 da. He leaves.
The ghost shape of him. And
Right. Craig says when he comes back up, he has a sack.
I had goblins.
He's not the pirate.
I stopped.
Roll me a bluff. He says,
Put up 2 dollars.
It's smaller.
"I'll take a pillow and go somewhere else."
Oh, I don't have. They have my stuff.
I just grabbed the pillow. I'm like, it's one.
We still have our stuff except for it.
Yes.
We will give you. We will give more.
That's fine.
It be used as a pillow.
We will give you money after we get home. Promise.
He looks at you and he like sees the seriousness in your face. Right. You know, I have a sack with a dead cat.
Yeah, I got it. Here you go, Damon.
House. Like, are we talking
Does that
like recent? Or are we talking?
Are we like cleric dead or necromancer dead? Like, which one of these solves the problem?
are we recent dead or archaeology dead?
He's only mostly dead. He said to blame.
I tossed it up.
No, no.
Do what?
I tossed it over to Damon.
He's not dead, he's just catatonic.
No. 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 Nothing you can say was better than that. No.
Yeah, this is gonna be a catastrophe.
It happened and I couldn't stop it. I'm sorry, viewers. You get no experience.
It's like, are you kidding me?
Now listen here, Meow. Are we done?
We haven't done anything. That's pretty much it.
Oh,
I do have one. I'm saving.
No, yeah.
Oh.
That you suck, so I
Okay.
can keep pointing at you.
Have fun.
okay. Continue.
Giggity.
Walking a real feline here.
Hear me out.
I go to sleep.
Me too. I'm just done.
Yeah, kind of after this. It's good. Night night.
As you all bed down, Damon, you slip into an easy slumber. As you do so, it's almost as if, like, you know how when you fall asleep, you kind of lose track of the point, like, I'm resting, now I'm awake. You lose, and then there's like that void, that area, like where you slept, and it's almost like time. As you're drifting off to sleep, it doesn't feel that way. You're very conscious of the time where you fall asleep, of that moment. The air around you turns black, and it's almost like this thick, dark miasma rolls over you as you feel your body kind of shut down and go into that soft, rhythmic state. But you're unable to move. More than that, you are unaware of your body anymore. It is as if you are adrift in this cool, endless void. Then you see a pillar of light illuminating one single object. A plant of some kind, a high stalk that rises up with a large leaf that looks like a star. Then on top of the leaf, you see a thick-bodied caterpillar begin to crawl out. And as it moves, it suddenly begins to shift and twitch as it starts moving at 50 times its normal speed. It rushes to the end of the leaf, making the leaf dip under its weight, and you see it begin to roll over and over and over and over and over as it creates this bright purple chrysalis around its body, just forming a cocoon. The light fades and the plant vanishes as you see a hand reach out, almost larger than life, as it grasps around the cocoon. The hand opens up and you see a magnificent moth rise up out of the hand and spread its wings. You see it's a vibrant sheen of blues and purples and blacks. As it flaps its wings clumsily, you see those colors shift and change in this kind of kaleidoscope of those three colors. This butterfly begins to flutter, and you see a lady step forward. You see the butterfly begin to flap and flutter, and you see a hawk rise up from the other side, and they begin to mimic and dance in the air, creating figure eights and shifting back and forth. And it's at that moment you realize how large this moth is, because it is the same size as the hawk. A lady stands before you in her splendid battle armor, her bastard sword to one side and that cape dropping down behind her. She looks down at you, but you can't see from the brim of her nose up. Her eyes completely hidden by shadow as her hair drops forward. She raises her sword into the air as you see motes of light and starbursts begin to erupt and dance around you. She then raises her other hand and points to you, and you feel your brand begin to burn into your body. It hurts, almost as if a hot iron pressed into your flesh. There's nothing you can do to stop it. You can't cry out. You can't grasp it. There's just this searing pain. And before you know it, you awaken. And during that time, the rest of you fall into a sleep as well. And the beginning of this sleep is not unlike Damon's. You're aware of your surroundings, and you're aware when it begins to. Manzarek, you see the cocoon begin to form and spin. As it does so, Derek, give me just a second. You two are ridiculous. As you see that begin to form, you hear a familiar voice call out to you. You hear, "Hey Manny, are you done with those mushrooms yet or not?" You turn and you see Darum leaning against a rock. The area around you is a carnivorous forest. The trees rise high and there's very little vegetation along the way. There are rocks that kind of block your vision from surrounding ridge lines, preventing you from seeing beyond. You can tell that it's later in the evening and you feel cool air suggesting that it's shifting into autumn. You see ashes resting on the ground beneath him, kind of scratching into the dirt as this dire rat periodically would find a grub or something and begin eating it with its little grabby hands. Darum is wearing just a vest and these typical slacks, and he has that same green druidic cloak that hangs over his shoulders with the sigil of the great tree clipping onto its cape. He has his arms folded and he looks down at you, and you see a large pile of displaced dirt next to him, as behind him a freshly dug burrow has been created. When you look up at him questioningly, you look back down at the ground to regard the caterpillar, and before you see 3 mushrooms of varying colors, sizes, and shapes. He says, "Well, hurry up. Which one?"
Acknowledge me, you can identify the mushrooms.
You may.
It's been 17.
17. You look down at them and you kind of scan over them. One of them you do recognize. It would cause horrific gastrointestinal distress if you were to eat it. One of them you don't recognize. It's foreign to you. The other one, you know that if it was sauteed in butter with a little salt would be...
Like, brush each one and then slowly take the one that tastes good. Take it. Is that a little smile?
That's yours. Prove it. How confident? He says. He jumps down. He walks over to you, standing only a little taller than you. As he walks up, his tail waving behind him, and he says, "Now, tell me something, Manny. How are you so good with plants and so terrible with animals? We're going to go on this pilgrimage in a few weeks, and you don't even have an animal companion yet." You see Ashley walk over and eat the other 2 mushrooms and then walk off. That's probably fine. Ashes, by the way, is larger than most.
He's going to want to that. Everything that I say is in very wild something. It's like I'm still trying to learn the language, and it's rough. And so like I'm going to keep talking normally, but it's really like every 4th word is correct.
He is doing the same thing, almost forcing you to immerse in that, to forcing you to speak it.
I don't know, but I am still trying.
Darum's fur is pitch black, where Hatch's fur is like this off gray with kind of flakes of black that are hidden within his belt. Darren, however, is completely black in color with his fur, and he has earrings all along one of his ears. But each of those earrings are a smooth and polished type of wood. Nothing on him is made of metal. He says, he kind of like sighs. He says, well then tell me. He says, so imagine for a moment you are moving through the woods and you're suddenly attacked by a dire bear or a dire bat or something. What would you do?
I would run. I would hide. It is the Gridley way.
Oh, no. He says, this isn't the swamp. He says, you can be friended at certain levels. At a certain level, you'll be able to speak to it.
Everything eats the Gridley. Everything eats the Gridley.
He says, trust me. The only thing that knows more about running and hiding from things than a Gribbly are us. He says, okay, new example. Imagine you're suddenly swarmed by a group of vermin of some kind. Ashes looks up, he says, not you. Or something besides rats. How would you handle it?
I would stand my ground. I would talk to it. And then when it bit me, I would run.
You're going to have to learn to deal with these animals. Your knowledge of plants is wrong, he says. But your knowledge of animals leaves something to be desired, he says as he begins to walk back to the burrow.
I continue walking with the same staff.
He sits back on his little hovel. He says, by the way, what made you want to be a druid? What made you want to leave your little swamp?
You did.
Yes, but you. What about you made you want to?
Well, you came to the village. So you were not afraid. You stood up to the monsters that plagued our village. It was like seeing the matriarch in action. It was exciting. That's why I want to be like you. That's why I want to be.
Do you want power or do you want knowledge?
That's the way to do that. Knowledge.
He smiles real big as if he's pleased with that answer. He says, are all Gribbly as stoic as you? He rubs you in the chest. It says, what an exciting life you and your people must.
Oopsies.
As the sun begins to set, you hear this bitter, shrill cry echo out through the woods. You see his ears perk up as he stands up. He says, it's the sound of an animal in distress. This, my friend, feels like a great opportunity for us. He says, come on. He says, Ashes! Ashes stands up and begins to follow him as he starts running through the woods.
I quickly grab the image that is not yet on my cloak of the little crappy Gozer symbol. Gozer is good. Gozer is good. Gozer is good. And I put it in my pocket and start running.
I was wondering why this map wasn't showing up on my laptop.
Why do you need a map?
All of it.
HBO. Or whoever it is.
Hey, do you have that new song for the Door of the Explorer for us? I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. I'm the map. Let's make this.
The trees are all like,
Wow, that's cool.
yeah, this is cool. I don't understand how to see.
Oh my gosh! Shots fired in
Shot
a
fired.
big way. Holy cow!
I would say I was on my knees, but he wouldn't be able to reach my head.
It was.
I have to go walk off that burnt frame. I get that, like, enough to hit me. Like,
Unless there's a parent that I need to worry about.
Sorry, sir. Not really.
Where is the other one?
What other one? Small one?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I have not seen it. Actually, I do see it. Hang
Yeah,
on.
he's right there because he was dropped last session in between.
Yeah, I even did
I
it.
can get it.
I got it. I got it. I promise. Yeah, that's what happened last time. Oh, it's Eli.
He begins to move through the trees, and I would like you to roll me a stealth check.
It's gonna be a 21.
What?
He will follow behind you with a 26. You move through what little foliage there is, taking cover behind rocks or logs, and then you come to what looks to be a worn trail through the forest. This is not a main road. This is a trail that people have made through constant traversing through the forest, but it is not like a main highway or merchant path or anything like that. And when you get closer, you realize why. You see that there are 4 humans standing around a large wagon. The horse is tied up off to the distance. As they begin to laugh and converse, you can tell they're drinking heavily, and you see inside of a cage off to the side a large raptor. Her feathers are kind of dull in color, and she is laying on her side and screeching at one of the men that's standing there, drunkenly accosting her. The one sitting by the fire calls out to him. He says, "Hey!" He says, "Leave that thing alone! She's making an awful racket," as he drinks from a bottle. Darren looks at you and he says, "What a wonderful opportunity." So, Manzarek, he says, saying your full name, "These are poachers. They have no business in our woods, and they have no business with that creature. How would you handle this situation?"
They are breaking Georgia's law. Sure. They must be asked. Are we? What likely?
Hop to it.
I start walking out and I'm just like, put my hand in my pocket and start rubbing that symbol a lot. Closer is good.
Do you go along the trail?
And yeah, and I just walk straight up.
How close do you get to them?
I call out to them 50 feet away. Like, gentlemen,
They don't stop. They look up. Oi! What's that? Well, it says, "I ain't a frog." And can't be a frog that talks. He like stands up. And says, "Are you a frog?" He just like screams, dude.
I kind of like take a step back. It's like, yes, kind of. That's not important. What is important is that you are trespassing in these lands, and you have to leave.
They get to within about 25 feet and then stop. "Oh yeah? And what if we don't?"
It is the responsibility of the roots of this land. I will do so. Please leave. Or any violence falls on I look over at Darum.
Roll me a perception.
17.
He is not there.
Take a step forward. Please leave. Please leave the animal and go about your way. It has to be heard.
One looks at the other and kind of scoffs. He reaches to his side and he pulls out a cudgel as he begins to make his way towards you. And I would like you to roll for initiative.
Oh,
no.
I've rolled terribly tonight.
I feel your pain.
Oh, yeah? More serious than concern.
Down to 8 HP.
What'd you get?
A 10?
With your homework, your doctor.
You just got a god.
I'm about to get the crap beat out of me. Dreams. I'm gonna wake up and be like, God, that experience was terrible.
I hated it the first time. Why do I have to hold it again?
Again.
He steps up to you. Make me.
I will.
Oh, God!
I will once again ask you to leave. And I kind of.
It's your first on the initiative of it.
A 2-foot creature, just like. Kind of push him a little bit with my.
Play your ego at him.
I'm trying to be the biggest possible, but it's hard when you're 2 foot tall. And like kind of push him a little bit with my staff. I'm like, please leave. There's no reason for violence.
And flat. You rolled a 1.
So, he looks down at you, right? He goes to swing at you, and it takes this much effort. As he trips and falls, his buddy begins laughing. Just, you very much wrong. He like stands up and he's like, I'm Sean! And he says, it's your turn.
I hit him with the quarterstaff.
You may. This will begin
7.
It's flat-footed because he is not big.
7.
Just like it's in the.
Please leave.
You just hit me with a stick? Well, he looks at his club. Oh, it's big. He says as he swings at you. Holy crap. Does an 8
No. I hit him the 19.
will strike your opponent?
5 points of damage. That's lethal. I don't plan on killing him.
He swings at you, you duck under it as you come up and just crack him across the nose. He steps back. Oh, no! What? The other one says. He moves his hands, you see blood. He says, he broke my nose! You hear the other two at the camp begin to laugh as his buddy is going to rush forward and he is going to swing at you. Does a 21 hit you?
It does.
Dealing 3 points of damage. See, hits you across the head, sending you stumbling.
But he's all.
Yeah, alright.
I don't know why that one tickled me as much as it did.
Tickled is the word you're gonna go with?
Yep. I never seen you never.
Same.
You're gonna go.
It is now your turn.
Okay, cool. I'm going to take a 5-foot step back.
Take it back now.
Summon a dog.
Singular.
A singular dog.
Dutch wall.
We're talking like Benji or
Medium-sized dog.
Or Yeller.
Oh wow.
So
It's a big old dog.
it is a big dog. dog. Take a 5-foot step.
Bark, bark, bark.
Is going to do a combat maneuver to trip him.
It may.
Just walks in front of him as he's trying to get somewhere else.
And it's going to be a 10.
That will not trip the poacher. As the dog runs up and grabs his leg and begins to tug on it, he looks down at it. He said, "Alright, what's all it said?" You hear the other two cry out, "Having trouble, gentlemen?" As they look back at the one that just cried that, they said, "Mind your business!" As he swings down at the dog. 13.
It hits.
A single point of damage.
Okay.
Yeah, let's taking a 5-foot step towards you. 11.
No.
He swings, sending you ducking down.
And I am going to smack him
You may.
with a nat 20.
Nat 20 crit threat, roll to confirm.
To confirm is a 12.
A 12 will not.
Yeah. And that's 5 points of damage. And the dog disappears. I'm actively not trying to kill him. So if he isn't knocked unconscious, like, back him into cities. Back.
So you hit him across the side of the head. He kind of stumbles. He looks at his buddy. His buddy says, "Oh, you'll smile with you," as he then hits the ground. He looks up at you with like this new sense of like, holy crap, right? He's going to take a 3-5-foot step towards you. And he's going to swing at you with a 2.
No.
I don't think so.
18.
That will strike your opponent.
4 points of damage.
You hit him in the face. He holds his eyes. Arrgh! He swings at you in retaliation with a 5.
11.
I will not strike your opponent. You swing at him and he grabs the stick, right? He says, "I've had enough of you, frog." He hasn't had enough of you. Would you like to take an attack opportunity? 21 will strike your opponent.
5 points of damage.
So, holding the stick, you pull, making his hand do that, and then he thrusts. He's like, "Oh!" You see the other two look as they reach down and begin to grab crossbows. Nat 20.
Okay.
Does a 9 confirm?
It does not.
Dealing 3 points of damage.
Okay.
Where are you in your house?
I'm not great, but, I'm still standing.
He hits you, sending you stumbling. He grabs you as he grabs you by your cape, and he pulls you up off of your feet. He says, "Had enough, frog."
Yeah, go ahead and hit him again.
You may.
We find that name.
17.
17 will strike your opponent.
5 points or 4 points of damage.
He stumbles. He falls flat of his back as you're on top of him. I imagine you're trying to get your cloak out of his grip, right? As you see the other two men begin to rush towards you, they run along the path and they aim at you, right? As they do so, the sun begins to set and the area becomes dark. The light behind them from their campfire silhouettes them. As you see them aiming their crossbows towards you, and then you see them and then slowly lower their crossbows. Aram steps up beside you, and he says, "Forgive my friend. He's constantly getting into mischief." And you see rats begin to pour out from all the shrubs around. The men begin to scream as these rats begin to swarm them. You hear them tearing and gnawing at their body as they start shredding their clothes, pulling their shirts off, and running into the woods in a blind panic.
The other two that are knocked on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
I am immediately going to do heal checks on them to try to stabilize them.
There looks down at you.
That's a 28
What are you doing?
basis and a 26. All life is precious.
It was fast.
Swarm of rats just eats them.
Yep.
Like Veronica.
That's what.
A swarm of rats eats one of their bodies, and Ash just walks up to the other one. Oh boy!
Just drags him out of the wood.
Oh!
He's alive.
That'll balance out those mushrooms. Darren walks over to the cage. He opens it. As he does so, you see a raptor laying there. Her feathers are matted, and you see they are stained with blood. He gently extends out his hand, and you feel the magic kind of emanate from his hand. Battle music going on. Chill out, battle music.
Lights out.
You feel the druidic magic begin to emanate from him, and you see her calm, but you can still feel the pain in her. You can see the pain in her eyes, and you can like empathetically feel what she's going through. You can see her labored breathing, and you know that she can't hold on for very long. Darren sees this, and with he calmed her emotions, but there's a little more you know he can do for her. As he just kneels down with her, and he gently rests her head in his hands.
Try to feed her a good berry. You know, there probably won't be a whole lot, but it's like one last nice meal.
She does so, taking it from your hand, and you see her jaws just kind of clamp around it, and she does a very weak kind of jolt up as she swallows it. And you see her just close her eyes as her breathing starts to slow. Darren looks at you. He says, "Unfortunately, this is part of it. You say all life is precious. Maybe. But I do feel like I don't value some more than others." He rolls his hand over her feathers, petting her gently. He gives a heavy sigh. He says, "If you truly can find value in those that do things like this, you hear a faint noise emitting from the cage.
Perception. If you need it or want to have one.
Why are you giving it to me?
I see all.
You're very aware of what's happening here in the past and in the future, just all at once. Yeah, everything everywhere all at once. You turn and look at the cage, and you see that there's something moving slightly in the straw. Walking over to it, you see an egg. This egg twitches and jerks, and you see a small crack begin to form. You hear this chipping noise as you see the head of a baby raptor begin to emit from the shell. It reaches up with its tiny claws, tearing away at the shell as it rolls out. Its eyes not even open, as it kind of reaches up and gives that very soft and high-pitched cry. It begins to chirp, and you see the mother begin to kind of like jerk and roll in Darren's hands as she's trying to get to the egg, but she's just simply unable to. And it feels like those last moments of effort is all she had. She's suddenly lost.
Pick up the egg and I like to continue to empty itself out. Like bring it closer to the mother. Set it down. I'm just gonna like look at it. Watch what's happening.
The small raptor rolls up against the feathers of the mother. It rubs and nestles, but it like shifts and moves as if it's looking for something. as if being close to the body of its mother is not what it wants. And it begins to kind of like reach up, almost like it's begging to be held.
Hold it. Look at it and see, make sure it's healthy. Like, hesitant, because every other animal that I've ever tried to deal with, like, has either bit me or, like, they tried to eat me.
Yeah, this is clearly a predator.
And I'm like, this is something that, like, that would eat me normally, so I'm like, let's hold this and let's look at it. And it was like a cautious optimism.
As you hold the baby raptor in your hands, you feel this connection. You feel like this empathic link to it. And you suddenly have this acknowledgement or this kind of binding emotion to this new life that had just entered the world, where you are now responsible for it. And this is now the most important thing in the world to you. Darum stands up from the mother raptor. As he walks over to you, he looks down at the baby raptor in your hands, as I imagine you're just staring kind of in disbelief at this new life. And he says, "Congratulations." He puts his hand on your shoulder. He says, "I think you're ready. This is your new animal companion." And then you open your eyes and you realize it's So, next up, Dr. Isaac Toad.
Like a sheep.
That's offensive.
That's hilarious.
I may have belt legs, but I am not.
I was trying to put your hand on it.
Cool.
I forget what I played with things.
Now we know it's
He's still alive. She's very much so a character.
Meet your mom. That's the priority here.
What are we doing here?
He's a character. He talks a lot about the people.
Huh, armless AJ.
No. Oh no.
I said, look, Ma, no one.
It's the ball.
You shot it. Oh, no.
Yeah, it's not very nice kid.
It's a very mean, bullying, like, everyone gets canceled. Anyways, I'm sorry.
Yeah, maybe not.
Ah, it's hilarious.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Easy, it's fun.
The world around you fades. You see the plant, that same cocoon, and then you feel the heat. You smell the brimstone, and you find yourself in an area that is simultaneously foreign and familiar to you. Who you have been for the last couple of weeks is gone from your mind. You are now flooded with thoughts, ideas, memories, experiences, desires that you haven't had before or you don't remember having. As you stand in a laboratory, this laboratory filled with different equipment, the hum of electricity echoing out, and that feeling of ozone lingering in the air. A girl stands beside you, young from what you can tell, but you know her well. She wears a cloak covering her entire body as she stands next to you, probably maybe a half a head shorter than you. She looks over at this table as you begin to move components around and you begin to kind of mumble to yourself. She says, Doctor, what do we do now? You hear these roars and cries coming from outside, and you recognize it as the sound of battle. She says, we need to go. We need to leave.
There's but few preparations I have to do left. This is important.
But if they find me, if they find us...
Correct. I have to make sure the escape route is perfect.
You hear the door shake.
I may not have as much time as I thought.
She turns to the door as suddenly... it bursts open. Bursts open. Sorry. Whoa!
You there?
I can do it.
Into the room steps a... Sorry?
Oh!
Steps a devilishly handsome man. He's wearing a suit that is mostly black, but with a crimson red lining, and on the inside completely crimson red. His hair is slicked back and his eyes piercing. He steps into the room with this very confident demeanor, and behind him you see he is being followed by 3 what you know to be Reapers. You don't know what that means. Like, if you're like, I know what those are, but I don't know why I know what those are. Their skin is pale. They have tight bound straps that run down their arms, their legs, and across their chest and torso. They wear a blood red cowl that contrasts with the dark leather straps and completely conceals their face, with the exception of their bright yellow eyes that peer out from them. Each one of them is wielding a scythe as they walk in behind him as he steps into the room. She turns to face them, and you see she gets ready as the devilishly handsome man says, My good doctor, am I interrupting something?
He would freeze, like he was still trying to do something to freeze. Why, no, of course not. My apprentice was just moving some things around, and I hand her out a vial. I would have prepared a vial of gaseous form, like a potion of gaseous form.
She looks at it, she looks at you.
My life is no longer important. Do the thing we talked about. Hide them. The farthest corners you can go.
She reaches and takes it. As she does so, he says, No. I simply can't allow that.
And then I would step in front of her.
He snaps his fingers. As the 3 men begin to move and shift into the room, she pulls back her cloak. In doing so, she has platinum blonde hair that drops down almost to her waist in like a long mane. She has stitches that run from her hairline down to the brim of her nose and wise out to either side. You see her skin tone changes from all 3 of these patterns. As she drops the cloak, she has just a cloth bandage around her chest and loose-fitting slacks. She has, over her heart, a small orb beaming with electricity, and that same kind of electricity teeming from small nodes around her fists. As she drops the cloak, she gets into a battle stance, holding the vial in one hand, and that electricity starts to roll around her body. As she squares up to them, she looks at you, she says, Please let me help you.
The moment you sustain, you go. Do not hesitate, I command you go.
She looks at them, he says, Kill them. And we will pick it up here next time. Thank you for joining us, adventurers, and remember that this has been a good day to die.